here, and I wanted to do, or I've been wanting to do, a watercolored type of mini album for a while. So I thought I would give it a shot here with you all and see how it turns out. So what I basically have done so far is I've taken watercolor paper and trimmed it down to, I think it's like 4.5 by 5.5. So I have, I don't know if you can see this full thing, but this is a Strathmore watercolor paper pad. These are 11 by 15, and my kids use these a lot. I like the larger size. As you can see, we're almost out. But I just pulled out a piece of paper and trimmed it down to the size that I wanted, 4.5 by 5.5. So my thought is, I'm just going to kind of continue the same style throughout the album with watercolors, a photo and a stamp, and maybe some written journaling on the back. Maybe a whole, I think, up here at the top, but we're kind of just going to walk through the process together. These watercolors, it's a new watercolor set that I just got. You can get these at Michael's or Joann's or just pretty much any craft store. If you take a coupon, it's literally like $3 for this whole set. So my kids love them. They usually mix up all my colors and everything turns brown, and then I go out and buy a new set. So I'm just going to use that here for this one. And I'm going to just get a blank piece of paper, I think, to set my papers on, so I don't make a big mess here on my table. Okay, so what I wanted to try to do is a little bit of color, just a colorful watercolored background, and then I think after that, so when I do my watercolors, I like to get my brush like really nice and wet. So my thought is I just want to do some different shades of greens for this one, and a little yellow, and as you can see, there's really no rhyme or reason to the different colors that I'm using, other than for this one I was going to try to go with green or yellow. Another fun trick I found is if you wet your brush with a little paint and then tap it, it'll make little water spots all over. So I'm going to just set that one aside for a second. I'm going to grab another piece of paper, and for this one I think I'm going to maybe do like a pink. I remember making a video once and somebody was stressing out about how my colors were mixing, so I don't really mind trying different things and mixing different colors to get a fun effect. Just gonna give like a little, so it doesn't look so, tap my brush a little bit, get a little, so I'm gonna leave that one kind of like, you know what, I think I might add a little bit more just down here at the bottom. There we go. So now I am going to let them dry, and as soon as they are dry, I am going to stamp on them. So right now, as they're drying, I'm just going to get my stamps out and then start building the album. So now all of my watercolors are dry, which didn't take too long, but I just wanted to make sure that they were dry before I pulled out my stamps. So these are some of my favorite stamps. All of them are by Allie Edwards. And again, I'm not much of a stamper, but I do love hers. I love her sentiments and her writing, and I just think they add a really fun element to a page. So I'm not 100% sure how these are going to stamp, but I'm going to give it a try. I also have some photos that I've printed off of my kids and myself and my husband, just our family. So I'm just going to kind of add the photos onto the page, and then I think I'm going to stamp over them. I'm not exactly sure where I want to stamp, but I do want to stamp on the watercolor part, so it just gives it a super fun effect. Let's see, do I want that photo? I think we'll put it like that. Maybe I might flip this one around. So the fun thing about the watercolors is there really is no rhyme or reason to how they should be positioned or what should be showing. The color, just a fun little element to play around with. So I'm thinking I might leave them kind of like that. I'm just going to grab my adhesive and I'm going to adhere them down onto my background. Projects like this are fun if you just have a little desire to get a little creative, but you don't really have a big project in mind, or you just want to do something simple and easy, which is typically 99% of my projects are simple and easy, but still fun and just recording our everyday moments. Those are my favorite ones to document, are the everyday moments. So as you can see, the watercolor paper did not really warp. I didn't do too much water on my brush. I left it somewhat wet, but not. This one still feels like it might be a little damp, so I'm not sure I'm going to stamp on that one yet. I'm just going to adhere this last photo down. Just gonna make sure my watercolors are dry. I don't think that one is, but all these other ones are good to go. So now I'm just gonna grab out some of my favorite stamps and stamp over the watercolor. I think I'm gonna use my Color Theory dye ink. I'm thinking pigment ink might be better for over watercolors, but let's just give it a try and see how it turns out. I'm just going to make sure I press down well but not wiggle. There we go. So I just stamped little memories right over that. As you can see, I mean, it's not fully, the ink didn't fully come off of the stamp, but which it doesn't actually always come off when I do it on regular paper. Anyway, so that is just fine with me. Let's see. Where do I want to stamp this one? I think I might stamp this one down here. Just making sure it covers. So I'm going to try that one again. I'm not 100% sure if it's my ink or I'm just going to press it from the bottom and make sure the ink is getting all the way on there. There we go. Just gonna put that stamp back. And I'm thinking that one may not have been 100% dry. Which is probably why that one didn't come off. So obviously I'm a little bit impatient and I don't love to wait for things to dry. Just gonna pick this one up and push it from the bottom to make sure I'm getting as much ink off as possible. I'm kind of stuck to my photo. The TH didn't come off very well, or the T and the ENTS. So I'm just going to try to stamp that part again. There we go. Super easy, super simple, and but it's fun. So I'm gonna I think I might try to use all the same. Oh, this is the one that was kind of wet. Okay, this one's dry. I'm gonna try to use all the ones that have Allie's font. So that one was super dry and I came out super clear. I'm gonna try to use the ones that have her pretty font, her pretty script writing. I'm just gonna grab this one. Press that one down. Hopefully that's dry. There we go. And then one last one. I think I'm going to do this Little Memories again. I did it on the other one, but I think I'm going to do it over here on this one. There we go. So those are, just gonna put my cap back. So here are the kind of look at all of them. And my goal now is to write a little bit of journaling just on the back and then put them together for a fun little mini album. So I'm just going to grab my pen here. So I added my journaling just on the back, as you can see. Super, super simple. Some of them I wrote about what we did on the day, or what was pictured in the photo, and then some of them I just wrote little notes just about our life and my kids and stuff like that. So there we have it, and now we just need to put it together. So to put the book together, I think I've decided to do rings on the side and kind of let it flip like just a regular book, or maybe do a ring. I don't know. Let's see. My only thought of originally I had thought about doing it with the ring at the top, but then when you flip it over, your words are going to be upside down. So I'm thinking a book that goes that way might be a little bit easier. Or I could even do a ring at the top, which is what I might do here. Just gonna grab my crocodile here, and I made a cover. I just stamped this "Bring On the Moments" in the middle of the watercolor, and then it was kind of smaller than I than I thought it would. I mean, I knew how big it would be, but I thought that it might take up more of the watercolored space. So just to add a little bit more texture, I stitched around there. Just gonna mix up this order just a little bit. There we go. And let's see, I think I might do one up here in the corner. So I'm just gonna take 3 of the papers, and I'm just gonna make sure they're lined up. And I don't think it's gonna get in the way of any photos right there. I'm just gonna punch my hole, and I'm gonna use the top one as a guide for the rest of my papers here. That's the great thing about a crocodile. You can go through a ton of papers at once. And now I'm just gonna grab my book ring and just feed it right through there. So just a quick little flip through the watercolored mini album. I love the watercolor paper. I love how thick it is, how sturdy it is, and it holds up to that color and the water. And I also love it's just a blank canvas, so you really can make it anything that you want to make it. So there's that one. And then I love that my journaling, that you can read the journaling there on the back. And the colors, again, I'm not a watercolor, I don't paint, but it is super fun just to get out your brushes and get messy, and then just know that you're just recording your memories, and that's all you need to do. So there we go. And I think I might just add, just to finish my book, I'm probably gonna cut out one more sheet of paper and maybe do just one little stamp or something, just so it has kind of like a closing page or a back page. But there we go, a little look at that book. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope I've inspired you just to pull out your paintbrushes and get messy and just make something. Print your photos and record some memories. Let me know if you have any questions, guys.